What is human design? Human design can be explained in many ways. I like to start by saying that we are born, and when we are born into a, we are instantly conditioned to be something because we are born into a gender, a society, maybe a religion was imposed onto you. As you grow up, your authoritative figures expect you to act a certain way. When we get out on our own, we're like, oh, we're free. But no, actually, we still have to run through the TOS of life. And our bosses expect us to be a certain way. So we do change ourselves. Um, Sometimes we have trauma in our life, and that trauma, we have these coping mechanisms, or we were humiliated by our friends. We vowed we'd never do it again, or we change ourselves because, oh, hey, that person over there is doing it better, so I'm gonna change myself to be like them because maybe I'll be good like them. So all of those instances are changing us in life, and we quickly lose who we are. So this here in front of us is reminding us of who we are when we were born, who we can, yeah, this energy here is us before we decided to change ourselves. Hi, Iron, welcome in. Human design allows us to understand our energy for who we are. You are so unique and you are so differentiated that there's no one else out there like you. You are so unique. And you have a choice mechanism that is meant for your body and your body only. It works specifically for you. So this choice mechanism, let's run over it. We're going to get into some jargon now. Okay. AussieBecca, I'm going to tell you that we're going to go over some brain candy right now. The stuff that I'm talking about right now, it doesn't necessarily matter, but it's just good stuff for you to hear. It's not the stuff that is like excruciatingly important right now, so we're just going through some brain candy so that we can get grounded into the chart a little. So it's very important for you to know that you are a generator. That generator self comes from this red box here. This colored in area. This colored in area in the human design side, we call it defined. We call it a defined center. A colored in block is actually called a defined center. So this here generator, you are a pure generator, and it comes from this little red box here. This is brain candy, and as a generator, which is 70% of the world, we are here to respond to life. So, we're going to get into that a little bit later because that's a part of your choice mechanism. Yeah, he's laying right here on my leg and getting some pets, as you can see. So, why? Okay, this little red box, this little defined center here, is actually what you can rely on as your choice mechanism. Now, in human design, we call your choice mechanism strategy and authority. So your yes and no, your strategy and authority, your choice mechanism. That's the jargon that we call this in human design, strategy and authority. So your generator capabilities, you're here to respond through your sacral. This is the sacral that you're here to respond through as a generator. I know it's a bunch of jargon, but we're just getting grounded into the chart. That's why I said that this stuff really doesn't matter at this particular moment. It's just here because you do need to know about it. Now, before we go any further, I want to tell you something about being a generator. 70% of the world, like I said, are generators. When we grow up as a generator, we are actually conditioned to be a manifester. And what's interesting is that people who are a manifester, people don't want them to be a manifester. They're conditioned to be generators, interestingly enough. So you are here to be a generator. You are not a manifester. How does that sound in logical terms? You know, we have brand names that even say, just do it. Or we just have authoritative figures or coaches say, go out there and grab it. Manifest your life. Namaste. So, you know, we go out there, we try to manifest what we want, what we think we need, and then it just blows up in our face. It's because we're not manifestors. We're being conditioned to feel like we are manifestors. It's really important as a generator that you wait to respond to life. We'll talk about what waiting to respond to life means, but I just wanted to start by saying that it's really important to know your type, because if you're a generator and you're trying to like instantly initiate stuff from your brain, it's probably going to blow up in your face, and it's pretty detrimental. So 70% of the world are generators. And imagine 70% of the world is being conditioned to be a manifestor. Just go out there and do it, feeling like they need to initiate instantly and having things blow up in their face and feeling like they're failures. But no, they're just not listening to their energy. Let's get into the spicy, juicy content. Firstly, we were talking about this earlier, your strategy and authority being your choice mechanism, your yes and no for your body. So your strategy and authority, once again, your choice mechanism. You're here to respond. Now, we're not going to teach about this exactly yet. We're going to go a little bit sideways one more time because we're going to make this juicy. If you listen to your yes and no, like if your body says yes and you follow that yes, or if your body says no and you follow that no, you are going to allow your purpose to flow through you automatically without getting your brain involved. So, your incarnation cross, the right angle cross of consciousness, 6463 355, this is your purpose in life right here. Yep, the right angle cross of consciousness right here. So I just want to tell you that we're not going to be talking about this today. What? We're not going to be talking about your purpose in life today? If you automatically follow your choice mechanism, remember, your purpose is automatically flowing through your life. Why would we even need to go over your purpose if you just follow your yes and no? It's going to automatically flow through you. So if you want the brain candy, you have to include, if you're going to Google it, you have to include the right angle cross, the right angle, and you have to include these numbers because there's 3 different variations of the cross of consciousness on the right angle, I believe. So you have to include all of the sentence if you want the brain candy. I was so not self. Like, I was so conditioned by the other. I was changing myself so much to fit in that I didn't even recognize my purpose. So I bet if I were to read my purpose back now, I would resonate with it because I'm more myself now than I was like when I started this journey many years ago. So I didn't actually recognize my purpose when I read it right in front of me. I'm like, yeah, right. So, um, so once again, you're a generator. You're here to respond. And this is your choice mechanism. So your strategy and authority is your yes and no. It is your choice mechanism. Now, we are officially going to go over what this means. And let's get into it. This is the most important part of this whole experience together. Right here, what we're about to talk about. And this goes for anybody. If you were to have a reading, this is the part where you're going to have smashed into you over and over and over. So as a generator, you're here to respond with your sacral. We have a one-part choice mechanism. That's it. Some people have two, but we have one here. I have one. You have one. So as a generator, you have these sacral, guttural sounds that you've been gifted with. So you have or if you don't know, maybe you're saying or those baby like coos that come out of their mouth because they're so pure at that point. So when they like something, they say ooh, or when they don't like something, they're like eh, right? So it's really talking about those sounds that come out of you when you have something to react to or to respond to. So a lot of us are deconditioned away from what it feels like to understand what those guttural responses sound like, because I know I was scolded by my parents by saying, say yes, say no, because and they're not correct in society. So I'm sure many people were conditioned away from their natural gut responses. So we can go into what a response means to you. Remember, although 70% of the world is a generator, the way we respond is different. So I'm going to be talking about how Becca specifically responds. You're here to respond, be curious, and a design of a searcher. Okay, what does that even mean? You're here to respond to life. Once again, we told you that you're not here to manifest. So in my opinion, it's like manifesting is like something pops into your head and you initiate it. That's not what we're here to do. So as I like to give this example. I'm sorry I laughed. Oh God, you'll see why. I was thinking about you responded, or your eyes opened up while you're in bed because you're done. Okay, you're in bed, your eyes opened up as you were sleeping, you woke up. Why? I laughed because you fell on the floor. That actually happened, guys, to Becca last week. So yeah, you definitely responded to like opening your eyes and waking up and fixing that situation. But naturally, we aren't in someone else's bed and fall out. So we open our eyes. Why do we open our eyes as we were sleeping? Did the dog next door, its barking, wake us up? Do we have to pee? Are we responding to our bladder feeling pressurized and about to burst? Did we respond to our body feeling rested? Did we respond to our alarm going off and us waking up? So why did your eyes pop open? So you're awake. What do you respond to doing next? Are you still sleepy? Are you a person who smashes the alarm clock like 7 times before you're actually going to get out of bed? I don't think you are. I think you're a person that might get out of bed unless you're exhausted. You would have to tell me because I'm just making a guess based on your energy. So, what do you respond to? Falling back asleep, getting out of bed, um, getting back into bed if you fell out. But you realize that you are tired. You respond to rolling back over and going back to sleep because you're still tired. So your eyes pop open again. What did you respond to this time? You responded to finally getting out of bed because you're finally rested. So you respond to sitting up. What do? You respond to grabbing your phone first. So you click on your phone a little bit. And then you drag your feet out of bed, but you respond to it's a little bit chilly because it's winter over there. So you grab your fuzzy house coat. And you're like, well, I'm going to get something to drink. But you realize that you respond to that your bladder is a little bit full, so you're going to go there first. So you can see that it's like, what are you responding to in that particular moment? And that's what a response is. It's not asking yourself, hey, Becca, do you want to go to the store? Like asking that to yourself in your head. That's not what it's about. No. It's like if you go into the fridge and you realize that you're missing a few ingredients and you're like, oh, right, store. So that's kind of what it is. It's like, oh, I just want to go to the store because I'm bored. That's like a mind thing. But like opening up the fridge and realizing you have a few missing ingredients and that like makes you respond to, oh, right, I need to go to the store. As you can see, there's both internal and external cues that you can rely on. But like the internal cues that you're relying on is like, do you gotta pee? Are you hungry? Etc. But the remainder of the cues are mostly external, like, when my cat uses the cat litter, I go clean it because I don't want to smell the poop, or I don't want to eat the poop in the air. So I instantly go clean it because they respond to smelling it, and I'm like, nope, I'm done. Instantly. So, response. Somebody could ask you something. I like to make a lot of lists because I like to go down the list when I want to do something, and I'm like, oh yeah, no, I don't want to do that. Go to the next list. No, I don't want to do that. Go to the next list. Oh yeah, there's finally something that I respond to that I actually want to do. So I'm like, yep, let's get on that thing. So you'll see in Discord, I put like 3 more things in Discord that I got to do, and I have yet to respond to actually doing them. They're there. I haven't responded to actually doing them. And when I actually do the things in Discord, you'll notice that they eventually disappear because I've done them. So, yeah, I haven't responded to actually getting them done yet. Like, I need to get them done, but the energy just isn't there for me to get them done. So when I have the chance, I'll respond to getting them done. I have to get one of them done today, whether I like it or not, though. So you are here to respond. If you're a person who enters a group, and let's just say they're talking about flowers, and you enter a group and you want to start talking about Twitch, it's most likely that your conversation of initiating a new conversation is going to fail. Because remember, you're here to respond. You should have been responding to the conversation about flowers instead of initiating a new conversation about the thing that you wanted to talk about. So what we were talking about here was AussieBecca and the way that AussieBecca says yes and no in their life, for their energy, for who they are as a person. And every time their body says and and AussieBecca decides to follow that, then she will be allowing her purpose to flow through her naturally without even getting her brain involved. So her purpose in life is the right angle cross of consciousness, 64, 63, 35, 5. But like I said, we're not going to be talking about that today, because if AussieBecca just follows her and then it's going to just naturally flow through her. So there's a ton of things that are flowing through my brain, and I'd like to go over them. What started as my thought pattern was, okay, let's just say you said and you do the thing and you entered into the contract, but like after a while you start to get a little bit frustrated. Frustration is your not self theme, Becca, to tell you that there is something that needs to change regarding that situation. It's not saying that you need to quit or need to start something. Something just needs to change. So I'm going to ask you, Becca, where are you frustrated in life? Where do you need to start navigating through those patterns by using your and so that you can allow yourself to move towards your purpose, have your purpose flow towards you? Where in your life are you frustrated? What needs to change? Where do you need to start navigating with your and so you can honor your energy and the life force energy that is you? If there were to be any pressure on your chart for you to be something that you're not, it would be sitting at that little 31 over there. Have you been conditioned to feel like you need to lead or be an influence? Because that's what that kind of means right there. If not, then you're not feeling the pressure of that, which is great. You're not going to be in your not self. Or trying to be an influence or trying to lead would be the not self of, would be kind of like some of the biggest pressures of your chart. Well, like I was saying, the colored parts in your chart are you. This is who you are. This is who you can rely on from the time you're born until the time that you leave this earth. And that's very nice. But what's interesting is that our brain thinks that that's boring. Why would I want to be that? It's so boring. And then the brain, once again, makes another conundrum. All of these white parts in our chart, whether it be the centers or the lines, the gates, everything that is white in your chart, it is here for you to play in, for you to have fun with, to roll around with, get a little bit dirty in, but not to identify with, because it's not you. So these are playgrounds, what I like to say, all of the white parts in your chart. They're not here to identify with because they're not you. The problem that the brain makes for us is that, like I said, the colored parts in our chart are who we are, and the brain thinks, oh, that's so boring. Why would I want to be that? Let's try to be all the white things in our chart because, ooh, it's kind of interesting, you know? And that's where the not self comes from. Once again, it's like, oh, that person over there is doing it better than me. I'm going to change myself to be them. So you recognize that maybe they have the energy that you don't, and you try to mimic that. So I want to talk about the colored parts in your chart first. You have a fixed way of conceptualizing. You have a fixed way of externalizing that conceptualization. You have a fixed way of understanding when enough's enough. And you have a fixed way of identifying with love, direction, and identity in life. So let's talk about what we can find in the centers here. A lot of people like to hear about this because it kind of gives them a signpost as to, oh, right, that's not me. I should start responding to see, what I actually want out of this situation. So the not self of this is, am I thinking about things that don't matter? Am I trying to answer everybody else's questions? I don't know what to think about. So this may be where you find yourself getting stuck on the internet, going through that endless YouTube, like 20-second clips, or the TikTok, or whatever. This is where you could see yourself accumulating other people's work at work mentally. I know that you don't sit at a desk to do work, but this is where, like, for example, you see other people's work piling up on your desk and you feeling like it is you that has to do it. Or maybe you might have to prove that you do know, and that could be like a not self-expression. So let's just say that you're in a group of friends and somebody out of the whole group of friends says, hey, what time is it? And, that's their question. It's possibly that you might be the first person to answer it. You might pull out your phone, look at the clock, and answer it for them, because even though it was their question, you might find yourself answering questions that don't matter to you. Even though the person in front of you could have mattered, the question didn't pertain to you, but you might find yourself answering it anyway. I'm actually going to go with this one next. Usually I save it for last, but it actually has a lot to do with every center. So this is the commitment or willpower center. It is undefined. So if you ever find yourself hating on yourself because, oh, why can't I just commit to that thing? Remember, you need to respond to the things that you commit to, because that will be the only way that you'll be able to commit to the things that you should be committing to. If your brain is like, I need to do this, I have to do that, I should go there, I should do this. This is like where it's coming from. You don't have consistent access to that willpower, commitment kind of energy. So with this being said, this center here is also where I feel like the most emotional pain can come from. 70% of the world has this uncolored or undefined. So that means that 70% of the world may have this feeling that I'm about to explain. This center here is about, I need to prove. It could be, I need to prove I'm going harder, better, faster, stronger. This is where feelings of I'm not enough may come from. I'm not deserving. I'm not loved. I need to prove to people that Chemical is being very vocal. Let's talk about this white center up here. Maybe you're trying to prove that you know. And that's a not self-expression. Let's move over here. This is a center where if you are in your not self, you might find yourself holding on to things that are no longer healthy for you. So people, places, or things. Now, I remember at the beginning of last year, this year, I don't know, but you're a very good friend and you went above and beyond for this friend, and this friend isn't reciprocating. So this is where you might have found yourself holding on to that friend longer than you should have. Things that are no longer healthy for you, people, places, or things. This is where you can find yourself letting go of things that are healthy for you, people, places, or things. So, you're here to prove that, oh, well, I don't need that support. I don't need that safety. I'm going to huck it away. I don't need that person, even though they were good for you. So that is a not self-expression of the center as well. So trying to prove that you got this by yourself, or trying to prove that you can hold on to shitty things for longer than you should. So you can see where a lot of the conundrums in your charts come from. But the thing is that this doesn't have to be you. All you got to do is respond to who should be in your life or not, what should be in your life or not. And if you go up to a person and you're like cringing, like, ugh, I mean, that's kind of telling you that person shouldn't be around you. So let's go down here. You're talking about the possibility of you know, trying to get yourself pressurized to clean or pressurized to get yourself motivated to move. This is the adrenaline center, timing center. You can see here that there is absolutely no energy directed from this center. So this is a pressure center, physical pressure center. So let's talk about it in a not self way. You know, you might feel extremely pressured to hurry up and to get things done, just to realize that your list is still long. A not self expression of this could be you being so overwhelmed by things that you got to do that you're doing nothing. In your life, people around you may have called you lazy. People in your life around you may have called you a procrastinator. But the thing is that even though you don't have any consistent energy of adrenaline or timing, you actually have the playground here of knowing what it's like to experience all timings and no timings at all. So you are like the master of this center because it's wide open if you allow yourself to be. You know, you can feel the pressure of needing to physically get things done, but do you have to act on it? Have you responded to doing it or not? People can be like, Becca, I'm gonna yell at you, blah blah blah, until you get it done. Well, I mean, you have your own timing. People can probably understand that it's wide open and that they're trying to manipulate that. But I don't think people are going to budge you unless you actually want to do it. Because this is wide open. Now, let's talk about coffee. If you don't drink coffee, please don't drink coffee. Your open root center can become highly addicted to the stimulation and the adrenaline that it gives to you. So you just need to respond to moving through what you need to do so that you don't become burnt out, so that your body doesn't need stimulants to move through life, you know. We, in your chart, might find yourself, remember, this is the center of the not self. I need to prove something. Remember, you have nothing to prove, not even to yourself. So I need to prove that I can get things done quickly or in a timely manner. So that's a not self expression. Are you pressurizing yourself? Why are my cats meowing so much this morning? Sorry, guys. And we're going to talk about this one. I've honestly never seen this wide open before. So I wonder what it's like to be in your shoes here. The not self-expression of this center is being a yes person. So to avoid confrontation and truth, you just say yes, not to rock the boat. Avoiding confrontation and truth. So I have this open, and my not self-expression of this is avoiding people, places, or things so I don't rock the boat. Like, you've heard me say it before, I don't like going to female parties like baby showers or bachelorette parties. Sorry, I love going to bachelorette parties. I don't like going to baby showers or like bridal showers because all they ask is like, when you're gonna have your baby, when are you getting married? I don't care about those questions. They don't matter to me. Stop asking me them. And I don't want to get snippy towards people. So I literally like drop a present and run. Saying little white lies like, yeah, your haircut's really nice, even though it's ugly. But this could be the opposite too. This is, hey, Storm. This is where you could see yourself confronting too many truths. Like being up close in people's faces like, yo, why are you doing this that is very confrontational and true? This could be like telling too many truths as the not self. So it's just like the wisdom of the centers. Let me tell you what it feels like to have this open for me. When Matey comes at me, and it's like, I don't understand why he's coming at me, like, emotionally, like, picking at me. I get my ass up in the air very quickly. So, although he said, hey, Katie, da 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 da, I come back at him like, well, Matey, me. And then he comes back at me. He's amplified now. And then when I go back at him, I'm about screaming at this point. So it's like, this center is like wide open. I wonder if you get amplified by other people's emotions like that too. Like, you just get all out of whack pretty quickly, because I do. It's just like, allow yourself to respond to situations so that your emotions don't have to be all out of whack kind of idea. Like, why are you responding that way in that particular situation? Like, I understand why I respond that way in a particular situation, so there you go. Scream, let it all out. So let's take it back to this center, the center of proving. I need to prove that I know my emotions and that I can keep my emotions and my shit together. Or I can prove that I can confront things when I need to confront them. So, like, you can see how this little frickin' center really manipulates the rest of the chart. Imagine you are on the stage of life. This is a Broadway, your profile. You are a 1-3. That's who you're playing in life. So let's just say that the character that you play is a 1-3. Let's bring that back to some logical terms. Let's just say that your character is a character that's 6'4", like 6'4", and your props person gave you a costume that was for a person that was 4'9", and you are 6'4", trying to fit into that 4'9" person's costume. It's going to be tight. It's going to be uncomfortable. You're not going to fit into it. It's going to feel awful. So that's kind of where I feel like, for myself, that's why I never liked my body up until recently. Because until you start responding to life, your brain's just going to get involved in what you think your character in life should be, and you're always going to be wearing the wrong costume. So once you start to respond to life, you are, you know, eventually going to feel like that costume in life is fitting. Now, I felt it in a way that I found self-love for my body, which never existed my whole life until I was plus 30. And I think, literally, I thank God that I was so young, even though it was 30, that I found love for my body and myself. Sometimes people go their whole life and don't love themselves. Let me tell you what your character in life is, like the person that you play on the stage in life. You are a person who is here to investigate, and you are here to be a person who goes through trial and error, and bonding and breaking, etc. So let's talk about that. Okay. As a 1-3, you are going to feel like possibly that the ground beneath your feet is never solid. You are a person who wants to investigate, look into things, and you may not feel safe about externalizing what you need to externalize until you've investigated it, and to the point of, it's like, I know everything about it. But apparently for a 1-3, it feels like the footing beneath your feet is never solid. So if that's something that you feel, it's just coming from your profile, and it's just a natural, like, instinctive, like, primal thing that keeps you safe. But, like, investigating plus this is a safety mechanism center here, and you have no direct consistent access to what it is to have, I'm saying this wrong, but this is like the feeling of safety. and whatnot. So there's no direct access to that. So your profile mixed in with this open spleen center would give you kind of like a double whammy of maybe not feeling like the ground is not safe beneath your feet. So you need to investigate and investigate and investigate. So the other half of what a 1-3 means is that you are here to, okay, Becca, 1-3s are resilient. They're here to, you are of the most resilient type of energy because you're here to go through that trial and error process. Not everyone has this type of profile. Not everyone has the capability of being as strong as you. You 1-3s are needed because we need to investigate things. We need to break them. We need to put them back together. We need to see if they work. We need to break them again. We need to put them back together because without people like you in the world, there would be no solid foundations beneath our feet. Because it is you, the investigators, and it is you, the people who, go through that trial and error phase that makes this life possible. Now, let's talk about it, how people might see that in a not self way. Oh my God, Becca broke the thing again. What's wrong with you? There's absolutely nothing wrong with you. You are meant to find the errors in things. You are meant to break things. So what people should be saying is, nice, Becca, look at the thing that you found again. What's wrong with it? Let's work through it. How did you get to that point? So the world is conditioned to think that when people break something, there's something wrong with them. But whereas it's literally meant to make the future better. So there's nothing wrong with you when you break things or you go through that trial and error phase. When you go into something and you come back out of it, it's okay. There's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with the situation. You've broken nothing. You've made it better. That's actually what you've done. The most important thing that you need to know, Becca, is that you are here to respond. You are a generator, so you need to move through life as and for you to allow your purpose to flow through you.